I love FSBOs. I love FSBOs. It was the way that I built my business. I have always been a huge fan of FSBOs, and they have always treated me well and have provided plenty of opportunity, just like Audra said, whether they work with you directly or not. I mean, it's just an opportunity to build a relationship. So what are some of the questions and what are some of the things that you're getting from this week that prompted us to hit this week?
So I had actually 3 different people reaching out about for sale by owners in different ways. Like, hey, how should I approach this one? How should I even set a FSBO appointment? Do I just go in there saying, hey, let me list your house? And just talking through just different conversations and patterns. I don't believe in coincidences. So I'm like, okay, people are calling FSBOs. This should be a thing, a conversation today. And everybody does them a little bit different, Matt. I'm sure the way that you did FSBOs is probably really different from the way that I did them. Neither of them are wrong. They both work. You just kind of have to make it into what works for you and how you
Yeah.
connect with them.
Yeah, if I were to just isolate best practices for all for sale by owners, it's this. Um this is an opportunity to build relationship,
Yes.
communicate value, and then be there when they're ready by communicating value and then helping create what we call a problem presentation by asking some questions that has them second guess whether or not this is something that they should do. Right.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of different ways of doing that. And there's a lot of different ways of getting into the relationship. The method that I like to use is, I like to do the walkthrough method. And that's as simple as just setting up an opportunity to take a look at the property and then sending it to the database of buyers that we have. Do I have
Yeah.
a buyer? No, I don't know yet. I have no idea. We come across buyers all the time. I'm not promising I have a buyer. I'm not going to bring one by. I am, though, as a professional, keeping up to date with the homes that are for sale and not just the ones on the market. So I'd love to come by, take a quick look at your property, see if the features of your home match the needs of anyone that we're currently working with or that we will be working with in the near future. So 10, 15 minutes. Don't have to sweep the floor, make the bed for me. This is what I do for a living. Is 5 o'clock today good or is 4:15 tomorrow better? Like that's essentially my script.
So then maybe we do have the same method. Maybe we do.
Right.
But it
So,
works so
yeah.
well.
So the thing is for me, so the thing with for sale by owners is this. If you don't have at least 6 to 8 pieces of a value proposition ready to send after consistently on a specific cadence with email, direct mail, or text. Don't do them because then or if you're in market, do it because it'll make me look even better. Because you'll call them once, you'll show up once, you may call them back one more time, and I'm going to continue calling, and you're going to
Yeah.
continue to make me look better. So if you're going to go after for sale by owners, you just have to say, okay, I'm committed to an 8-week follow-up campaign with every for sale by owner I reach out to and connect with. If you're not ready to do that, don't do it. Spend your time doing something else. Door knock, do more open houses, do something else. But if you're going to go after an outbound strategy like for sale by owners, it's about connecting, building rapport, providing value, staying in communication. And when they're ready, they're going to list with the best or the next agent that reaches out to them.
Mhm.
How do I know? Go into whatever lead service you have, go back 8 weeks, and then cross reference all of those for sale by owner addresses. And you'll notice 80 to 90% of them are already listed or sold. So 80 to 90% of the for sale by owners will eventually list with an agent that don't sell.
Yep.
And don't trust me, right? Just excuse me. Don't trust me, verify, right? I'm in Kansas City, Missouri. It's called the Show Me State. Don't take my word for it. Go look. Go see for yourself. And so that was my approach. Now,
Mhm.
what are the value propositions? What are the things that you offer? There's so many different things. It doesn't matter exactly what. The fact is, like, do you have something? Now, you can get strategic and start presenting certain things that address their biggest pain points. Like, for instance, you know, why do they generally not want to use an agent?
I
They
want
want
to
to
save
say
money.
they want to save money. Perfect. Excuse me. I am not allergic to for sale by owners. In fact, so they want to save money. Perfect. Are you familiar with our smart seller program with flexible commissions? Oh, no. Oh, okay. How about, are you familiar with our for sale guarantee? Are you familiar with our communication guarantee? Agents, I never heard from my agent. Perfect. We have a communication guarantee. Do you want to hear about it? I feel locked in. Do you want to hear about our easy exit listing program, where you're never held hostage, where we're here to provide world-class service and value, or you get to fire us on the spot? Are you familiar with our friends and family program? Right. So there's so many different ways that you can position yourself as value. So whenever it's ready, you make it low risk, low resistance, high value.
And I think a way that to find those pain points, when you're at that walkthrough, ask questions, just get to know them, connect with them. And don't ask, okay, well, when are you going to list your house? Or how soon can I have you send over this listing paperwork? Don't ask those questions, but just be a friend. Where are you going? Why are y'all moving? Where are you moving to? How long have you been here? What do you love? You're literally just trying to connect with them and make a friend. It takes so much pressure. They get so many calls from people like, well, you know what? I can do this better. Let me just list it for you. And almost every single FSBO appointment that I go on, they're like, oh, the last agent said, told me that I couldn't do this, blah, blah, blah. Don't be that one. Don't.
Here, yeah, let me flip the script around a little bit, and let me say it this way. Here's a regular agent's approach. So this would be the subtitles underneath the script is, hey, FSBO, looks like you're stupid. I could come in and help you be less stupid, doing it better than you do it because you're not doing it very good. Can we meet?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Don't you know that the average for sale by owner sells for 11% less and blah, blah, blah. Why are you doing this way? Don't you like money? Don't stop.
Yeah.
You can't win somebody into submission. Right. And remember this, write this down if there's anything. People are doing the best they can with what they got. People are simply doing the best they can with what they got or what they know. So it's our opportunity to present them with new information so they can have a different feeling and opinion about it.
Yeah.
I think if you're trying to prove your worth too, it actually makes them question your worth more.
Mm-hmm.
If you're asking the right questions to help them come to the conclusion that you are valuable, that's provides a lot more value or helps them really want to go with you. But if you're sitting there trying to prove to them and tell them like, I'm the best agent, I do that, like if you're just telling them all the great things you do, it actually makes them question, like, are you really though? Are you really that good? If you've got to just tell me, don't tell me, show me.
What, for those that are on and listening, what are the things that are holding you back from consistently going after this outbound strategy? Which again, when we talked about the 4 pillars of client acquisition that top agents and teams have, one of them being outbound. For sale by owners is a really strong opportunity for you to create quick and immediate income and listing opportunities. What's holding you back from it? Like, what are the concerns or fear points that you have? Let's talk about it now.
I can, one of my fears is not so much of a fear, but I mean, Audra's helping me get an attitude adjustment about for sale by owners. I do like them, but sometimes I kind of like, oh God, for sale by owner. And sometimes, I've called a few recently that I'm not quite sure were really all that about selling their homes yet.
Mm-hmm.
And, we just kept canceling appointments and everything. And,
sure.
I couldn't get in but, he had some illness and all this could all be legit and just not quite ready. And then I kind of, lose my mojo and like, I'm not going to call these guys anymore. They drive me crazy,
Like, but think about how much they actually need you. If this is how they're treating an opportunity to actually get their home sold, how bad do people actually need us then?
Yeah.
Right. I was one of the most interesting for sale by owner experiences I had is this one for sale by owner that was probably the most aggressive on the phone. And it wasn't directly. The wife was always the one that answered, and the Mr. for sale by owner was always in the background just screaming and like saying stupid stuff. And I could hear him, right? He would be like, tell them we're not doing nothing with no stupid agents, or like I'd hear that in the background. And I'm just like, that's fine. You know, I'm happy to come over, just take a quick peek. If we had somebody that wanted to buy your property, you guys working with agents, and they're like, yeah, absolutely. It's like, perfect. Let me swing by. So I would come by, and the guy would sit in the living room facing a newspaper and wouldn't even look up, didn't stand up, wouldn't say hello when I came in, just sit like guy in his like mid-late 60s, like bald head, Mr. Clean looking, shaved head with like glasses, ex-military guy. Just wouldn't even move. And then I've shared this story a couple times, like it was like it was my fifth touch. So it was about just about a month into the follow-up. I answer, and Mrs. for sale by owners answers the phone, and she's kind of like she's got kind of tears in her eyes. She goes, I'm so glad you called. I knew you would. The house down the street went on the market this week, and it's already sold, and they didn't even come to see us. And like nobody even came by to see their house. And it was priced more than their house, and it wasn't as nice as their house. And I said, ugh, I'm so sorry. Like, they were afraid. The buyers are afraid to go for sale by owner.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And she goes, when can you come by and bring a sign? And I'm like, how's today at 5:15 or is tomorrow at 4 better? Right. And yeah. So long story short, Mr. for sale by owner wasn't expired. They were an expired listing. Somebody had promised them a bunch of stuff, didn't do anything, didn't aggressively price it, didn't educate them on the market, didn't really help guide them as a fiduciary. Got the listing, prayed it sold. That was it. We come in, we market, we do some things. And it was the third time I came back over to the house to put up feature carts around the home. Like, hey, take a look at this and look at this. And this home in this room, you're going to see. And he goes, he's like, thank you. And I'm like, for what? And he goes, you're the first one that's ever done anything they said they would.
Wow.
They became best friends. They would send my daughters like custom gifts and stuff. Right. Like they became like a second family. So the most aggressive are the ones that are hurting the most. They're just in pain. Right. Like they're just in pain. So they all need us.
Yeah. And when you're doing that follow-up and just checking on them, you find out so much. My follow-up questions are always like, hey, how are things going? How are you? How's life?
Yeah.
You know, have you had any feedback? Do you need anything? Can I do anything for you?
Mm-hmm.
But and then shut up and let them talk and just,
Mm-hmm.
they ramble and tell you all the things. I had one who I followed up with them for, I mean, it was a couple months, every week, at least once a week. And they were getting really stressed about getting their house sold. They'd already bought another house. They had this big vacation. They were going to be in Italy for a month coming up. And they were like, man, we're going to have to take it off of Zillow and then start all over, just on and on. I'm like, I know that y'all are really worried about getting the house sold. You don't want to lose any momentum. There wasn't any, they'd had 0 showings. But they didn't want to lose all that time. It had been on the market on Zillow. I said, why don't we just sign, you're going to be gone 30 days. Why don't we sign a 30-day listing agreement? We can communicate by email. So I can just take care of this for you while you're gone. Then when you're back, we'll just take it off the market. But while they were gone, we had open houses, we had showings. We didn't get under contract, but we were way overpriced. But because of all the activity, they were like, okay, how long can we sign a new agreement? We listed it for 6 months. They would not adjust price. We didn't sell it, but I got lots of buyers out of it. Now, whenever they were very odd. Whenever they terminated and relisted it with someone else at the price I told them to, it sold in about a week. But even with that, they have still sent me referrals as well, because I at least showed up, followed, committed, did what I said I was going to do, got activity going, and I cared about them. It wasn't just, I need a deal.
Yeah.
I was there for them.
So let's talk about this, right? Because as an agent, what's the number one? So if we say the fortune's in the follow-up, what's the hardest thing about following up? So especially if you've got a cadence to follow up every single week for at least the next 8 to 10 weeks, when that number comes up, what goes through your mind?
What should I talk about today?
Oh no,
What should I?
I
Yeah.
just called them. I'm just
Yes.
going to be bothering them. They're
Mhm.
just they're not even going to answer. They're going to hang up on me. Like, what am I supposed to say? Like, right? Are those thoughts not in your head? Because they were in my head. And so I just did one little flip at my for sale by owner walkthrough that made all the follow-up easy and expected. And it was this. Before I left, I said, Mr. and Mrs. for sale by owner, listen, so as a professional agent, it's my responsibility to stay up to date with the homes that are for sale and not just on the market. So every 7 to 10 days, I'm going to be reaching out just to see one of two things. Number one, are you still for sale, or have you adjusted the price at all? Would it be okay if I stay in touch with you just for those two things? And they say 100% of the time, 10 out of 10, they go, yeah, of course. And so every week when my follow-up comes up, I say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, it's Matt, just giving you a call like I said I would. Are you still for sale? Have you adjusted the price at all? No. Now, in the meantime, they've either received an email, a text, or a direct mail piece of one of my value propositions. And so then I just follow up and say, hey, did you get a chance to take a look at what I sent you? Do you have any questions about it? No? Perfect. Talk to you next week. Let me know if anything changes. And obviously, if anyone in our database is ready to come take a look at it, I'll call you to set up a showing. Done. Every week. When I do that, I'm simply doing, well, like, what am I doing differently than everybody else?
You're reaffirming that you're doing what you said you would.
Doing what I said I would, because that's what professionals do. Amateurs show up once or twice. They wing it. They don't have a presentation. They like to go from the gut. They want to just do blah, blah, blah. Like, amateurs show up randomly. They don't follow a recipe. It never tastes the same. Every appointment's different. Pros, consistent, repeatable. Doesn't mean it's not genuine. Doesn't mean it's not authentic. It's controlled. If I'm going to go to a 5-star restaurant and there's a meal that I love and I'm going to go back in there because I want to have that same experience again. If it's different, I'm upset. It needs to be the same, which means they're following a script. They're following a system. I want the service to be the same. I want the same teams to take care of us and anticipate, and my water's never more than this much less, right? Like, people, like, that's what elevates and changes the whole experience. All right, go ahead.
I think you're right. There's so many agents that are resistant to automation because they feel like automation equals being like a robot, but really all automation is doing is helping you stay consistent. And your automation doesn't have to be the same message to every person every time either. It's just your automation could be a simple reminder to do the things that you need to do so you don't let them hang on forever without hearing from you.
Yeah, so there's a book called The Magic Moments or Magical Moments by Chip and Dan Heath, and they talk about it, and they talk about customer service is an experience that's replicatable and duplicatable. Disney is what it is because everyone's empowered to give somebody the magical experience, right? To go above and beyond and create experiences for people. I love that agents don't want to replicate, duplicate, or systematize because it makes me look better. So you guys on the call are different. So final thoughts, concerns. I know we're 2 minutes over time. I appreciate you. What do you guys got? What did you take away? What did you hear from today's call? What's your affirmation for today?
I love FSBOs.
I love FSBOs.
My neighbor has their house for sale by owner. And I actually texted Audra last night and asked her, how do I approach this? They've only been there 4 months. Our neighborhood is brand new.
Okay.
They've only been there 4 months. I have like talked to him, but the girlfriend's not very friendly. She doesn't like to wave or anything when she goes by. So I asked Audra, I'm like, how do I approach this? So
that could be what that could be why they're selling.
So yeah, I just have to get the courage up and get over there.
Yeah, just come from curiosity, ask for help. Be like, hey, listen, do they know that you're in real estate?
They do.
Okay, perfect. Just ask them. Say, hey, have you guys already set up like an opportunity to work with agents who have buyers? I'd love to help kind of get more eyes on your property. If we had somebody who wanted to come by, are you guys open for us showing it? You know, is there anything I can do to help? Do you have any questions? Just come from contribution. Totally just come for help. It's impossible for somebody to be like, no, stop it. Stop trying to help me. Stop being nice. Stop it. Why don't you go away with your niceness and your helpfulness? Go be helpful somewhere else, helpful person.
Yeah.
You know, when I say it out loud, isn't it funny? Right? You're like, why would I not be that? All right, guys. So I trust that was helpful. Go be helpful. Go help a for sale by owner today.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Take care. Be well.